come back to Kenyan football because another week, another court ruling. Kwalimwa, this is your forte. So I didn't even know about the Constitutional Court of Kenya. Let me announce my ignorance. I know High Court, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court, SDT. So, hey.
It's just kwa muktasari. It is just a section of the High Court, just like the Labor Court.
Yes.
As in, it works on matters to do with kama umekosewa kazini ama unaona nilipiga ngumi ofisini, unaona uwezi nipeleka Central Police Station. So it's the Labor Court. Now, Constitutional Court matters constitution when you need interpretation, overruling based on the constitution, based on the rule of law. You go to the Constitutional Court. Kama umekosana na madam naenda kwa chief. AP hapo chini ya miti Wednesday.
Yes.
So kuna kila mahali ya kucho. So Constitutional Court.
That was very specific.
That was
You know, you can't go to, before I break this down, once you end up police station useme madam is making noise in the house. Naambia ngojea kuna chief anakuja hapa kesho saa 3. Yatahandle hiyo maneno yenu. So back to this on a sober note. AP Bomet and Fortune Sacco, of course, had been promoted to the top flight league.
Yes.
That decision was rescinded by the Football Kenya Federation's National Executive Committee when they assumed office after Babu Namwamba returned them to office. AP Bomet felt aggrieved and went to the Sports Dispute Tribunal. They won that case and were promoted. Somebody somewhere thought, no, that can't be the case. So went to the Constitutional Court to ask for an interpretation of that ruling. But as the interpretation is going on, that decision has been stayed, that decision of the SDT. What does that mean? In the meantime, Mathare United and Wazito have been promoted. AP Bomet and Fortune Sacco go back to the second tier league. Now, let me start my ranting now. Two things. One is it just brings a lot of confusion.
Yes.
Listen to me. Supposing we play for, because right now, of course, these two teams are behind, I think, by 4 or 5 games into the season.
Yes.
Now, they are playing in their respective leagues as per a court order. Now, supposing they lose that case, what happens? Do they go back down to where they were? Do we go back to status quo? You can imagine the confusion that can come with that.
And then we scrap off all the results of the games they have played.
We scrap, as in you can imagine. That's A. B, High Court, normally in Kenya, it takes a lot of time to arrive at a decision. It can take a year, it can take 18 months. So, Mathare can play for a full season. And after the season, wakwe number 12, alafu mnaambiwa hapana, you are supposed to have been relegated. You get it? Unaona sa advantage ya chief chini ya mti because hiyo kitu mnaisolve saa hiyo.
Even better, they finish in a very formidable position. And labda waende washinde.
Yeah.
And then be more confusing.
Exactly. Because High Court, if you look at the president, it takes a lot of time to determine the case, listen to the case and the hearing. So all this is not necessary for Kenyan football, and I just really think we can find a way around it. There used to be this law about not taking football matters to court. I don't know why it's really been
let me quote for you what they said. According to FKF's lawyer Ken Ochieng, they are challenging SDT's jurisdiction to hear the case that was brought before it by APS Bomet and Corner Rangers. Aggrieved parties should agree to approach SDT for resolution after exploring other options. This did not happen. That's what the zoo chairman said. So in essence, Ndong, he's saying before they went to SDT, they should have come to FKF and try and resolve this at FKF. So because they didn't, now Constitutional Court of Kenya says that was FKF's argument. Why is it our football can't stay away from the courts?
That's a good question. I think it just typifies.
Explain this one now.
Yeah,
I'm also confused as most people are, but I think it's an I don't know. Bottom line, it is just raising more chaos than it's not even giving clarity.
Yeah,
because as just what to echo what Kwalimo has said, what happens now if all that is overruled once again?
There's a possibility, a very strong possibility.
Yes, it's overruled once again. So
we will go back.
So the fixtures it means again that FKF has to readjust their fixtures again to incorporate them. They have missed about 4 matches. So what happens to those other matches? It's I think
Yeah.
I don't know.
But James brings us up a very important aspect. Why is it that we can't just keep off the courts? I think, just randomly thinking, if you look at how it happens in Uganda, Tanzania, and some of the neighboring countries, there are not as much court cases as there are here. I think there's a clique of few people who benefit from those confusions, those court staff, and what have you. I used to hear these narratives, Kitambo, that there's a budget for research in football in Kenya. You know, there's a team, kuna budget ya refa.
Yeah,
could there be a budget ya kotini pia for people to make money from such events?
I think the bigger problem is, as a country, especially as football, we don't like following the laid down process. And especially with this football thing, we have, remember, and I asked you, when we first said we are bringing back the team back to office, and then we shall deal with this, then you said hizo zingine tutafanya huko mbele. It's a political decision. Now tushafika huko mbele. Now we are there where we were afraid of, because we took the quickest route back into international football, but by doing so we tended to ignore all the
A few basics, yeah.
basics as regards to the law. Now, I have met so mane people who are so unhappy with SDT in the last few weeks. They're like, but why did Ohaga go and rule on other things? Why didn't he just rule on Bomet and Fortune? Why did he go to touch other things?
Because
but you can't do it in isolation.
Yes,
Exactly.
they're
Tied at the hip, yeah.
So now we're in a situation where every decision we make makes everything even more complicated. Now, because if you ignore SDT because of the Constitutional Court, what are you saying? Now, can the Constitutional Court override? Forget the SDT ruling. But what was SDT's ruling based on? The ruling by the High Court. So what shall we then do when we bring all these things together? Because SDT followed what the High Court said. It used that as an argument. Yeah. Now, the Constitutional Court of Kenya says, no, according to FKF, go back to the resolutions of FKF. But